Philanthropy is defined as the charitable acts or good works that help others or society as a whole. Typically, those who hold incredible wealth or title are those who most commonly indulge in philanthropy. However, what is the true intention of philanthropy? Is it truly about charitable acts, or is it something more ill-natured? I don't believe that anyone naturally chooses to drive their philanthropic acts with truly malicious intent. However, it's difficult to prove the contrary in totality. To define my take on ill-natured motivations, I specifically mean driving your charitable acts or selfless acts in the hope to gain power or societal praise. Anything I mention proceeding after these statements is my own speculation and opinion. This video essay is no attack towards anyone in particular, and rather I am simply questioning the motivations of certain individuals and corporations' philanthropy. Without further ado, allow me to explain my thesis in depth. Firstly, I'd like to touch on philanthropy being a flex of status and power within a society. In specific, I am referring to a certain niche of individuals, including Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Jimmy Donaldson, whom are commonly referred to as Mr. Beast. Many of you recognize these names immediately, probably due to their huge companies or stock market presence. Knowing these men solely by their companies and investing skills, however, is unlikely. Many of the biggest philanthropists become known due to said philanthropy being praised and regarded highly throughout the media. Bill Gates and his wives Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a great example of this dilemma, as this foundation has been covered regularly in the media since its opening, keeping Bill's name relevant after stepping down from Microsoft. Sure, he left Microsoft to focus on his philanthropy with the foundation and to increase engagement in common social and environmental issues of modern America. However, that isn't my point. My point is that Bill Gates and many major philanthropists continue their charity to keep their names relevant and their status or reputation untarnished. Even when these philanthropists mess up morally, like Bill Gates' recent divorce due to his affair, they still look like good charitable heroes due to their prominent philanthropic achievements. This exploitation is a great example of the elitist democracy of modern society, where a small group of individuals hold great power. In this situation, those being the top 1% of unwaveringly rich philanthropists. Notice the words unwaveringly rich when describing these philanthropists. Yes, when I said unwavering, I meant these guys aren't going anywhere anytime soon financially. These philanthropists have the ability to not only become highly praised within the societal eye through charity, but even save billions of dollars in taxes. These philanthropists can count these charitable donations as tax write-offs, which is a term commonly referred to as charitable tax deductions. These deductions allow philanthropists to deduct anywhere from 20 to 60% of their AGI from taxes. The issue here is that the majority of those who indulge in philanthropy sacrifice what they see as a minuscule amount of their riches to claim huge tax deductions, later making back those philanthropic expenses through their companies in an instant. Effectively, this process is merely one step back and 10 steps forward for those at the top of the financial food chain. Finally, I'd like to mention the government's quote-unquote philanthropic businesses with Ukraine last year. In 2022, the Biden administration sought to send $10 billion to Ukraine to help protect them against the Russian invasion, and an additional $22.5 billion to cover coronavirus pandemic-related expenses, which made two major additions to budget talks already underway. Ukraine then used some of these funds to buy FTX currency, $4 billion worth. FTX went under shortly after, and following that, FTX then donated $4 billion to the Democratic Party Fund. This is a prime example of a super PAC, but an even better prime example of the shady and manipulative back and forth of funds between the US government and its allies.